We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. A federal court orders the pride flag restored at Stonewall, affirming LGBTQ history and visibility. Advocates look at it as a landmark win against the restrictive National Park Service policy.
Idaho's new law mandates reporting trans minors to parents within 72 hours, alarming doctors and LGBTQ advocates who warned forced outing could endanger youth in unsafe homes.
Oslo patient's HIV remission after rare CCR5 Delta 32 transplant offers hope, but experts stress there are limits. For most treatment and U equals U remains essential pillars of queer health prevention.
Tennessee designates June as Nuclear Family Month, defining families as heterosexual, sparking concerns of exclusion, visibility, and dignity during Pride Month.
Denver's Sapphic bar, The Pearl, announced closure over rising costs, but the community donated over $80,000 to save it. This incident highlights both strong LGBTQ support and ongoing sustainability challenges for queer spaces. But is that the whole story? All this important LGBTQ news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 12 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the Rainbow family. There is no other program in the LGBTQ plus world like Queer News Tonight.
That's right, John. It is Wednesday, April 15th. It's tax day. I hope you did your taxes. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company with the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
This year, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and Queer News Tonight, our 5th anniversary, with more than 14,000 LGBTQ plus stories told. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ plus events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ plus and broader communities.
This year, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voices as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. We got royalty at the table today. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Bobby Blair. Bobby's a former top-ranked professional tennis player turned visionary entrepreneur, author, and LGBTQ plus trailblazer. Rising to national prominence on the court, he went on to build a powerhouse career spanning real estate, media, finance, and emerging blockchain technologies. Blair founded one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in the United States and later launched the first LGBTQ-focused stock index and ETF. a Hall of Fame inductee and author of Hiding Inside the Baseline. His story has inspired audiences nationwide through both his writing and nationally televised documentary. Bobby, you inspire so many people, and now you are also launching a new era app to help local businesses. I can't wait to hear all about it. Tell me what's happening out.
Well, it's a new era of local business marketing that will arrive to the market, to the members, probably in the month of July. Right now, we're essentially building all of our vendors and all of our business partners, all the businesses in the community that want to connect with members within a 5-mile radius. So we're connecting businesses and people all within a 5-mile territory. And then we'll go down to South Beach, and then we'll go to Pompano and Hollywood Beach, where we're building out greater Fort Lauderdale first. And essentially, a business puts up a complimentary preferred park, and we'll promote that to all the thousands of people in the 5-mile radius. And if they want to really advertise really aggressively, I've created what's called a cashless advertising platform, where they take a campaign, say $1,000 a month ad campaign. All they're going to do is authorize us to create digital gift cards, and those digital gift cards then will get sold to the general public, to the members, at 50% off. So think of it as a member, you can get all these great free perks. You can get access to your favorite places at 50% off. And then there's a happenings on the app where you can locate all of the really fun things that are going on in the local community. So you can plan your event at the Broward Center, find a perk before you go, and have dinner half off near the Broward Center. So it's a way to bring people together, all on the app, all on the every Apple device, all the Google, and it's actually live. People can download now and take a look at it at the Apple Store or Google, and it's Perk Plus VIP.
I love that. You know, my main love for this, aside from getting perks, I'm Latina, I like to get anything at a deal, right, is for the business owners, Bobby. You know what I mean? Like, tough is a nice little soft word to use, okay, for business owners right now. The overhead is crazy, gas is expensive. Business owners are feeling it in their pocket because people are spending less, right? And for the most part, a business owner is not able to know where their promotion is going to go. So if they're promoting to somebody on South Beach, they're not going to come up here to get a chicken sandwich. You know what I mean? But you're promoting within a 5-mile radius,
right,
which is superb.
What's also really cool is the business owner takes out an advertising campaign where they're going to have a big box ad. It's going to rotate all over the app. We're going to connect all of their social media, their LinkedIn, their Twitter, their TikTok, their Facebook. We're going to be able to connect to their Yelp page and drive traffic to the business, let the business sell itself. But here's what's really cool. That business doesn't do anything except provide a preferred perk, take out an ad campaign, activate it, never write a check.
So there's no money.
No money. What they do is they allow us to create Perks Plus VIP gift cards. They sit in the marketplace, and we sell that value at 50% off. So they can walk in. So essentially, the business is advertising by allowing us to create gift cards. The gift cards show up to the business. Here's the really cool part. Somebody shows up at a wine bar with a $25 gift card and orders 2 glasses of wine. They're a new customer. They've never been there before. They love it. How much did that wine really cost the wine bar? $4 or $5.
$4 maybe?
So that's the cost of their advertising. So they're taking out between $500, $1,000, $1,500. Never write a check. We do all the legwork. We get all the members. We drive people to their business. And then they're only redeeming at their hard cost. To me, it's innovative. I'll tell you a quick story. When I owned Frontiers Magazine, we were trying to get Delta Airlines so bad. $100,000 type of ad sale for Next in New York, for fun, for everything that we had. They wouldn't never say yes. I'm at dinner with my buddy who was the rep, and we had a couple glasses of wine. I said, how about you give me $100,000 worth of vouchers at $300 a piece? And you can put restrictions on the vouchers. He goes, Bobby, I don't even have to make a call for that. We turned around and took those vouchers and sold all $100,000 vouchers. Not at $300. We sold them at $150 a piece. We turned a $100,000 no into a $50,000 cash prize to the company, and consumers got a $300 value from Delta and only paid $150. So for years, I've been thinking I've got to make this a business model. So I'm working with OUTSFL. I'm working with Hotspots. We're going to help them upgrade their advertisers. We're going to start doing some really innovative things with cashless advertising.
I love that.
And it's also going to help media companies that are in print who are struggling. It helps the 97% of the businesses that don't have a budget to advertise, but they know they need to. And when they do, unfortunately, that ad bill sits at the bottom of the list because rent, taxes,
More important things.
payroll, you got to pay your people, the product cost, the liquor, the food. So we think it's innovative. And we're inviting people to the office next Tuesday at 10:30.
Is that your launch? I saw
Well, we've had
that
a couple
somewhere,
private meetings,
Okay.
and I can tell you this, and I don't want to name the names, but I invited some of my private closest friends to tell me the truth, what they think about it. Every single business that has seen the program has signed up yes. So when you're in the print business, you get an answer of yes 1 out of maybe 15 times. We're getting yeses every single time now.
That's beautiful.
To activate.
Okay. So you're having a kickoff, I believe, next Tuesday, right?
10:30.
April 21st. Tell me a little bit about that. So what time?
7:01. Yeah, we're showing up. Kathy over at Over Easy Cafe is putting together a beautiful continental brunch. Starts at 10:30. Eat a little bit. It lasts no more than 20 minutes. And we basically show the business owner how they can activate a campaign, how they can become part of the community. We're going to do this for 2.5 months. Then on July 1st, we're going to launch it live to the community with hundreds of free perks and hopefully at least 50, businesses offering the 50% off gift cards. And, listen, consumers can go to great places, get free perks, and do it half price. It's wonderful. Advertisers can advertise with no cash, get new customers, and only redeem at product costs.
I love that.
I think it's a win-win.
So it is a win-win. It sounds like a win-win. So will you be full-fledged active June or July 1st?
July 1st.
All right, we'll be looking out for
Yeah.
that. But make sure that you folks go to the kickoff, okay? That way you
Well, they
can
can download the app
hands-on.
now.
They can do that on their own. But I mean, if they
Yeah.
want a hands-on approach with you there guiding them, it'll take them 15 minutes to do that, right? So I mean, it's good for you. It's good for the businesses. And when the businesses rise, we all rise. Right?
Yep.
Amen. Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Perks Plus VIP app launch on April 21st. Let's welcome anchor Alex Morash back to the table. Look at that great face. He just brings happiness wherever he goes. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Welcome back to the show, Alex. How you been?
I am well, you always love to tell me about my Tesla, and given everything going on right now, I am loving driving around in my Tesla right now. Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
Good. Why is that? Can you please elaborate? Nobody throws pennies at you, because that's what I do to Tesla drivers driving by me.
It's just looking at the gas prices. I'm like,
oh,
yeah, and then there might be like.
I was going to ask you for a ride home too, Alex.
I mean, I'm scared people are going to start asking me for rides to places.
I have a Toyota 4Runner. It costed me $90 to fill the tank. That is so not fair. But I still wouldn't drive that disgusting piece of driving thing that you
of
say
course my figure
is.
but like it cost me $9 to fill up my tank.
I would pay $180 to fill my tank before I would drive a Tesla.
Oh, it's fascist cars or Saudi oil. I mean, either way, if we're going transportation, we're getting fucked somehow.
Oh, there you go. Oh. Thank you so much, Alex, for being back on the show at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome my bestie, anchor, John Hayden. He's a journalist for 31 years. He now focuses on hyper-local reporting covering LGBTQ plus issues. Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook, as well as in New Pelican, Outclick, Out South Florida, and once again right here at Queer News Tonight. Welcome back to the table, boo!
Thank you so much, Faye. I love it. I've said it before. This is my favorite hour of the week when I get to sit here with you guys. Yeah, I'd like to tell you about a really cool story that I've got going on. It's up right now on Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook. Eagle Wilton Manors, in the heart of the drive, has installed naloxone, which is Narcan, generic Narcan, essentially, in the club. Anybody can open it up, get it, and help fight someone who is having an overdose, because so many drugs right now, which aren't great to begin with, but they're getting laced with fentanyl, which can actually kill you in a very quick, short amount of time. So Eagle's being very proactive. They're working with the Robin Foundation, which was founded by a man and his daughter who lost his wife and another daughter to substance abuse. One was after surgery, the other depression. So I love that they're doing this. They're putting these boxes in Hollywood at some parks. Pompano Beach is fire rescue is going to start carrying them in parks, because we think of clubs because that's sort of where our community is, but we don't think about the parks and things like that. So they're looking to get this everywhere and get people educated. So please check it out. I also have a great tutorial from a very sexy medic, the electric medic, on YouTube, who will explain much better than I ever could the value and how simple it is to do it. By the way, if you think someone's having an overdose and you give them Narcan and they're not, that's okay.
Yeah,
Narcan doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
So when in doubt, use it. So
when in doubt, Narcan somebody.
Thank you. John out.
Well, John back in, okay? Can I bring John back in for a second? I just want to say how incredible it is for the Eagle, for Chuck King, for all the folks over there to think about their patrons in this way, right? I mean, people are always giving away Narcan at events and stuff like that. And then I'm like, it's in my effing car. How am I going to help somebody at the club? You know, this makes a whole lot more sense. When Chuck King was in my bed a couple of weeks ago, he was telling me about the epidemic that was happening with pickpockets in Wilton Manors and how they started with their security team, right, to start checking people on the way in and checking people on the way out, and they stepped up security, and now they've had a lot less of those occurrences happen. So kudos to Eagle, you know. Bobby, you're a business owner. It's not easy to take care of your overhead, pay everybody, but then also, you know, you have to think about your patron safety, right?
Well,
so, I mean,
you know, I think it's incredibly great from the proactive standpoint that typically most organizations want to always like slip things under the rug, things that are not popular, things that are not things we should all be doing, or even things that we shouldn't do flat out. I like that they're bringing all of that piece of it to the forefront, realizing that they're much better off helping people than trying to slide it under the rug and trying not to make a big deal about it. Trying to say, oh, there's not drugs in our club. We don't have a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
After 3 people die, well, maybe you have a problem. Not that 3 people did die. But my point is they're probably saving people's lives, and I know that they will. At some point, we have to just admit that it's part of what our community is. Every community has this problem. It's in Holiday Park. It's everywhere. And for this organization to be this proactive and to not be sweeping things under the rug that aren't so popular and not so fun to talk about, I think it's absolutely great.
It's important that we normalize it more. Like, we should be looking at this just like we look at like EpiPens. Like, this should be something that's very easily and readily available. So it's a wonderful thing that the Eagle's doing. And John, I've been really enjoying your reporting the last couple of years. Just being able to, every time I need to know what's going on, and now, because I'll be honest, I would have no idea what's going on. You were not writing all these stories. I'm just going to be blunt with you.
well, and now
Thank you so much.
You can find all of John's stories and all of John's reporting in Greater Wilton Manors. Make sure that you go check it out on YouTube and on Facebook as well. And thank you, John, for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor. Say it with me, FayWhat. Oh, y'all suck. She is a legendary television events host and radio personality. She's also the host of Hotspot's Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Mizz OUTSFL pageant will take place May 4th, honoring our reigning queen, Velvet Lenore, and showcasing a ton of great contestants. What is happening out?
So Out South Florida newspaper and magazine invites the community to a dazzling night of glamour, purpose, and pride at the Mizz Out South Florida pageant on Monday, May 4th at the United Church of Christ, Fort Lauderdale at the Elliott Hall. Doors open at 6 p.m. with the show beginning at 7 p.m. This year's theme, Pride Through the Galaxy. May the 4th be in your favor. Promises a spectacular high-energy celebration. The evening will honor reigning queen, the one, the only Velvet Lenore, spotlighting her impact and philanthropic work alongside a lineup of celebrated entertainers, pageant royalty, and community leaders. Guests will also have the chance to connect with local nonprofits and charities, reinforcing the event's mission of uplifting and supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Admission is a suggested donation of $25 at the door, with proceeds benefiting community initiatives. Food and beverages will be available for purchase, including affordable dinner options, while desserts, water, and coffee are free, gratis, complimentary. More details of the event are available at MizzOutSFL.com. And I'm super excited for this. So this year, I think last year was the inaugural, right?
No,
yeah.
This is
This
the third year.
This will be the third year.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because the first year, I got it, right? So this is the third year, and now they're making it bigger than ever, right? So now they're going to be over at the UCC Church. They're bringing in a catering company for food options. Like, they're doing doing it big, you know, and the UCC church has an incredible space. Like they have a huge place for a stage and all that kind of stuff, which is going to be fantastic. So the boys over at Out South Florida asked, you know, if I would be a part of it, right? And I was like, oh, do I get to judge? And they're like, no, you don't. No, you don't. We're going to use you for something that you're good at. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm good at being a judge. And they're, no, you are good at being a judge. You're even better at this. And I was like, what is Justin up to? Right? Like he wouldn't tell me. And then a couple of weeks ago, he finally told me that I will be conducting the interviews. Right? So the Q&A, the question and answer portion of the pageant will be done about noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And we'll do it then. The judges will also be judging them then, you know, so that'll be awesome. And it'll be separate. So there'll be less time taken away from the actual pageant time the day of. So I'm really looking forward to it. I saw some of the contestants that are in for it, and they're going to fight it out to the death. I mean, some incredible queens are coming out. And what I love about this pageant, it's, you know, it is question and answer. It is gown. It is show my true colors, but it also is, what nonprofit am I with? What do I stand for? What do I believe in my community? It's not just, you know, I'm pretty and I'm going to stand here with a trophy. It's like, I'm going to win this for this organization and I'm going to help them get their word out throughout the year, you know? So I'm really excited about this third year.
You know, Justin, he produces the pageant. He's also one of the co-owners of OUTSFL, right? He has been working on this for months because I cover it. I will go and I will be shooting it and I'll update the blogs and the social media. But this event is just getting so much bigger and so much better. First year was a little rough, as most things are. Last year, very smooth, and until the smoke alarms went off and Oakland Park Fire Department came up. Whole other story.
But they were hot.
But anyway. they may have gotten the biggest applause of the night, if I'm being honest. But it's such a fun night, and I'm so glad that you're a part of it this year. I look forward to it, and you know how much I love going out in the evenings.
You don't.
Exactly. But I'm looking forward to this. And the mixed analogies, may the fourth be ever in your favor, I'm just 100% living for.
No, I love it. Like, I do want to explain to the audience something very important about whenever you see a queer news outlet doing an event, go to it. Why are they the best at it? Because they've covered every damn event in the world over the years, so they know how to do an event better than anyone else. Not to put any high stakes on Justin, but he's been to plenty of events. He's going to know
many pageants.
He's going to know what works and what doesn't work, and make sure that this event is better than any event you've been to in a long time. People go anytime, whether it be Out South Florida, Hotspots, the Washington Blade. They all do great events because they've just seen all these.
No, they know. And I've seen Justin on a stage, like during a pageant, where I know that he's like filling time, but nobody else does, right? You know what I mean? Like that's the caliber. He knows what's up. He knows how to.
Sometimes that wig got on the ground and needs to be cleaned up, girl. Okay, they need to stall sometimes. It's fair. It's normal.
I think what's really also great about it is this pageant is emerging as a title that contestants really want to win. Like, I think the first couple of years it was a pageant, and if you won, great. But when Velvet Lenore won and she took it seriously and she knew that it was something that she had to get, just like she really wanted to win Dancing with the South Florida Stars at one point. She tried 13 times, won it the 14th time. So I think it's emerging.
She won it with Tony Lima, my brother.
Yeah, so I think it's emerging as if you're a real performer here and you really want your career to go to another level, I think this pageant's beginning to be a staple that you might want on your resume. Secondly, the fact that you said that they're representative, each contestant, of a nonprofit. So they have their passion, they have their interest in the community, and to have a pageant that has a ability to promote those initiatives and those nonprofits through the print media, through the digital media. I don't know if people know, but OUTSFL has over 1 million viewers online every single month. And I know tens of thousands of people read this newspaper. So for those contestants to have a platform that now allows for the media property to promote their good work, I think if I was a contestant, I would be trying to win that pageant like there's no other contestant, no other pageant to really try to win it.
100%. And I would have the best package. Don't make fun, John. And I would have the best package because I'm following Velva Lenore. So I'd make sure everything was on point.
You better, because Velva's probably, in the 40 years I've been watching and reporting and doing these types of things with she's the most professional I've ever met.
She really is.
I mean, I've never.
There's no BS there. You see, she's professional. She's on time. She tells you what's going on, when she needs you, how she needs you, everything. I mean.
And you know what she's also done in a very classy way, never nasty? She's got everybody else on their toes. Because I'm professional, you be professional. Let's do this right. Our community
100%.
Deserves the best.
And she's got like 40 kids.
100.
Yeah.
Oh, 100. She's
got 100.
No, he's right. It's 100.
Yeah.
It's 100.
She's like Noah getting off the ark and yeah. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing. I don't know where that. Looks forward to seeing you at the Mizz OUTSFL pageant May 4th.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the U.S. Save You. A big win for the LGBTQ community as court orders pride flag restored at Stonewall. The pride flag will once again fly over the Stonewall National Monument in the Village in New York, following a federal court order requiring the National Park Service to restore it within 7 days. The ruling comes after Lambda Legal and the Washington Litigation Group filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, challenging the flag's removal as unconstitutional and in violation of the Administrative Procedure Act. The National Park Service had removed the flag under a January 21st memorandum issued by Director Jessica Bowron, which restricted displays at national parks to official government flags with limited exceptions. Plaintiffs argued that the pride flag qualifies under those exceptions due to Stonewall's historic significance as the birthplace of the modern LGBTQ rights movement. The court agreed, finding the policy was applied unlawfully in this case. Attorney Alexander Krisfak said, quote, "This is a complete victory for our clients and for the LGBTQ plus community," end quote. As part of the settlement, the pride flag will now be permanently displayed at the monument's official flagpole. And I couldn't be happier because, folks, you can't erase history with a memo. All right? Like, the pride flag belongs at Stonewall, period. It's not just fabric. It's a symbol of resistance, resilience, and revolution. Taking it down and, we're going to put it right back up with some glitter attached, okay? I mean, the reality is that Stonewall riots are like our Civil War. They are like our 9/11. Like, it's such an important historical part of our LGBTQ plus history. And that flag goes with it. Taking down that flag was like a slap in the face, I felt.
No,
what do you boys think?
I hear you, Faye. It's just like, when I hear big win, I'm like, this is what we're considering big wins now. There's so much going on. There's so much that we had gained over the last 50 years that now our version of a big win is to just keep flags from being torn down while they're murdering our people and going after immigrants and just all this. I think there's an overall positive story. I just want us as a community to demand more of ourselves.
Alex, I totally understand what you're saying, but we also have to celebrate the victories wherever they come because they're few and far apart, kid. I mean, you know what I mean?
I hear you. I know. I'm just going to be the negative Nancy. I'm sorry.
No, but I agree to some extent that it's really disgusting that we're celebrating this, really something that should not even be on for discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you're taking down the colors of the paint on the roads and you're wanting to take down flags and to be celebrating that after 50 years or 60 what these people did.
Yeah.
And that's our celebration today. It's like, wow. I mean,
what's happened?
Soon before you know it, we're going to be re-celebrating that we can get married again because we might lose it in the next 10 years. I mean, the celebrations, like Billie Jean King says, you're only one generation from losing it all.
Yeah.
Everything that you've gained, if you don't have a generation of people like you, fighting, and you're right, every win you got to celebrate because a win creates momentum, and never underestimate the need for that momentum. But to be thinking that we, from your point, have to be talking about it is so stupid.
Yeah.
But the point is you got to celebrate it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would like to put this sort of in the mosaic of a bigger picture. Boise passed, Idaho passed a law saying you can't fly the pride flag. And so Boise wrapped up all their flag poles in the rainbow color. Miami Beach Pride this last weekend took the literal rubble of the crosswalk that was destroyed by FDOT and reassembled it just feet from where it was. We got Trump's name off Sea Great Boulevard in Lauderdale by the sea. These are small things, but I think when we report them like something like this, it seems small. And yes, it's a fight we shouldn't have to be fighting. But we need to look after another year of Trump where we are. The tide is slowly turning because of our activists, our people at Equality Florida and HRC, putting through all these things, never giving up the fight that we don't see. So if nothing else, we do this story to give people their flowers. And when we look at it from a little wider view, I really think this is a good thing because we're celebrating the wins that are coming. And they're coming more and more.
And never underestimate the need for everybody that's sitting home watching this that says, what can I do?
Yeah.
There is so much that you can do, and every little bit helps, because we don't have the luxury now of taking a break this next generation, or we're going to grow old going, man, we had it there for a while. What in the world happened?
So
and we're feeling it already. We're feeling it. We feel like we're making a comeback. Why are we feeling like we're doing a comeback? It's too bad.
I hear it's just the only thing I'll say is just I hear you on the victories. I just want to make sure they don't turn into distractions from the bigger fights that are happening.
That makes sense too.
Yep.
Oh, because we've got so many other distractions, okay, that are doing that already, you know?
I'm Bobby Blair, and let's queer up trans rights. Idaho law mandates schools, doctors to report trans youth to parents within 72 hours. A new law in Idaho is drawing national attention after Governor Brad Little signed legislation requiring educators, healthcare providers, and childcare workers to report transgender identity disclosures by minors to their parents within 72 hours. The measure, titled the Pediatric Secretive Transitions Parental Rights Act, takes effect in July. It applies broadly, covering not only medical care, but also social transitions such as changes in pronouns, names, or access to gender-aligned spaces. The law allows parents to take legal action against individuals or institutions that fail to comply, with penalties reaching up to $100,000 per violation. Idaho State Senator Carl Burke and State Representative Bruce Skogg said in a joint statement that the law will reinforce the fundamental rights of parents and guardians to oversee the medical and social upbringing of their children. However, medical professionals have raised concerns about the absence of safety exemptions. They warn that mandatory disclosure could place some young people at risk in unsupportive environments. Speaking to the Idaho Capital Sun, Idaho physician Dr. Jessica Rowland said, "Not every home is safe. This bill contains no mechanism for safety assessment and no allowance for clinical discretion." The law is part of a broader wave of policies in Idaho affecting LGBTQ individuals, including restrictions on bathroom access and pride displays. I tell you what, I would be nervous if I was a kid and I disclosed that I had a problem or I was dealing with something that I was being made fun of. And maybe I felt I was transgender, because at 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, it's hard to really know for sure what's happening with your body. And to have to go home to a mom or dad that might be really against it, and they're really going to church a lot, and they're going to not feed me, they're going to put me in a closet, they're going to treat me bad, they might whip me and beat me, they might threaten to put me in conversion therapy. I think that these families should be vetted before they turn the kids back into the homes or to tell the parents. I just think I'm concerned that there's a lot of parents in middle America and everywhere really that would not take that news very well, and those kids are not in a safe environment.
Yeah, this isn't protection. This is freaking surveillance. This is what that is, basically, you know? And like Bobby said, not all homes are safe homes for a transgender kid. So I'm also feeling for the teachers that don't get paid enough, nowhere near, okay? And the healthcare, the healthcare folks that are afraid that they'll lose their license if they don't report this poor kid that's coming to them with trust.
$100,000.
You know, I mean, come on. Like, this is just, go. What were you thinking, Alex?
I'm just thinking, well, one, as a former substitute teacher whose parents were teachers, like, I have seen more than one horror story with how parents have treated kids for being queer and for not for being queer. But also, like, this is not about safety. This isn't about threats. This is about deliberately trying to put trans kids into harm's way. And I'll be honest, like, if this, when we see like any absurd law like this with cis people, you'd see doctors refusing, and this is an example of just and unjust laws. And if you are going to be willing to obey that law and knowingly put a trans kid in harm, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I don't care how much money they want to take from you. It's not worth it. You have a soul. You should know better, people. Come on.
You say $100,000 per violation. That's blood money. That's what it is. Plain and simple, it's blood money. And blood is most definitely going to be on the hands of every single person who voted for this and the governor who signed it. You know, every year we go to Trans Day of Remembrance, or TDOR. And one of the most moving parts is the reading of the names of trans people who were killed in the last year strictly for being themselves. And there's a picture of every single one of them on the background behind them. And pretty soon, we're going to start having kids on that background. Kids are going to die because of this. And I would encourage everyone to peacefully find every legislator who has voted for this. Protest outside of their homes, scream at them when they're on public sidewalks, and make it uncomfortable for them to go anywhere, including a general restaurant. Because the amount of scrutiny that they're putting these kids under is reprehensible, and they should face at least something similar to what they're putting these kids through. They are vile, they are vengeful, and I hope nothing but the worst for them.
Follow them to the bathroom. Follow them into the bathroom and make them feel uncomfortable for this horrible, horrible nature of treating these kids. And more people should be really uproared over this, all right? Because like you said, kids are going to die. And if it's not by somebody else's hands, it will be by their own.
And that's the biggest problem. That is
the worst part.
The worst part.
I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up health. Oslo man likely cured of HIV after rare stem cell transplant using brother's mutation. A 64-year-old man in Oslo may have been cured of HIV after 5 years in remission following a stem cell transplant from his brother, who has a rare genetic mutation, CCR5, Delta 32, Delta 32, that helps resist many HIV strains. The transplant was originally performed to treat the patient's bone marrow cancer. Diagnosed with HIV in 2006 at age 44, he discontinued antiretroviral therapy 24 months after the procedure. Researchers reported that 2 years post-transplant, tests found no HIV DNA in blood or gut tissue and no virus capable of replication among more than 65 million immune cells examined. Clinicians, however, cautioned that this approach is not broadly applicable. Stem cell transplants are high risk and typically reserved for life-threatening cancers. Matching donors are rare, and the CCR5 Delta 32 mutation occurs in about 1% of Northern European populations. For most people living with HIV, antiretroviral therapies ensure a normal lifespan and undetectable viral load. Nonetheless, for the LGBTQ community across the world, the Oslo patient isn't just a clinical exception, he is a reminder that the finish line for HIV's and AIDS epidemic might be getting closer. This is a much nicer, more positive article than the other things we've discussed. It's great. I did check that this is not the first time a transplant like this has happened. There's been about 10 people that have been cured in this way. It's wonderful. I know it's not something that can be for everyone, but it's just glad to hear. It's always a nice thing. It's hopeful, right? And that's why we're here to deliver the news and also give our opinions on it, right? I mean, the reality is that this is super high risk. You'd have to find that matching person, okay? And it's also very costly, That being said, okay, this is a breakthrough and we should celebrate it, right? 10 folks that now get to walk this earth, HIV free. I mean, that's something that we would have never, I didn't know that we would be able to see that in our lifetime, right? And it's not a universal cure. It's a powerful reminder that science, not stigma, could end HIV in our lifetime, maybe. Years before that big Cheeto guy was in the White House, we were on the way to maybe eradicating HIV/AIDS in our lifetime by 2030. I don't see that happening anymore, unfortunately, with what's happened in the last couple of years. But this is still a breakthrough. It's still good news.
I'm a big believer in always expect the unexpected in everything that you do, whether it be dealing with people, places, things, businesses. And anytime that this type of research is happening, anytime that you're dealing with anything that has to do with HIV/AIDS, whatever test it might be, whatever vaccines over in the Philippines, here, there, always expect the unexpected, because you never know where the really it thing will be for a full-on vaccine, a full-on cure.
That next nerd that will take that and make it something more
things
attainable.
come from the most unexpected places, and always expect the unexpected.
Exactly. People forget one of the reasons we were able to get the mRNA COVID vaccines is because we've been working on on an HIV vaccine with an mRNA vaccine for decades now. It's so important with the HIV research for that alone.
And you never know what could have come of that.
Yeah. Yeah. John?
You know, I remember when I was a kid, and I didn't understand things, but I remember on the news there was this great story that the first person had had an artificial heart transplanted into them. And then, I'm a kid, I go about, and then 77 days later, the man died. And I thought, that's very sad because this didn't work. But everybody was saying, no, this is a really good thing. He lived 77 days on this. And of course, over the past 35, 40 years, heart transplants, extra things like that have become almost normal. And that's what you hope this is. And you put 1,000 treatments out there, and this is one of them. And maybe someone learns, oh, we can mutate the gene a little further. Clearly, I'm not a doctor, but I'm not afraid to play one on TV. And things will get better. So like someone said, someone does the research, and then somebody else will come along, pick up that, and go further.
I actually said the next nerd will pick it up and make it into this incredible thing that saves so many lives, right? I mean, that totally is possible. And I meant nerd in a super sexy way because I'm in love with nerds, and nerds are hot.
Hey, everyone, I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up the USA View. Tennessee declares June as Nuclear Family Month, not Pride Month. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signed House Joint Resolution 182, designating June as Nuclear Family Month, defining a family as one husband, one wife, and any biological, adopted, or fostered children. How inclusive. Critics say the move, timed with Pride Month, excludes LGBTQ plus families. Sponsored by State Representative Bud Holsey and backed by 15 GOP co-sponsors, the resolution describes the nuclear family as God's design for family structure. It cites controversial claims linking fatherless households to higher rates of poverty, substance abuse, incarceration, and school shootings. The resolution carries no force of law and includes no enforcement mechanism. However, from an LGBTQ plus community perspective, the concern is less about legal impact and more about visibility, dignity, and inclusion. And like I said, it has no real substance, much like Tennessee. How do they even, fatherless households, so now, but now they put two fathers in there and all of a sudden, no. So make up, which one do you want? How many school shootings have been from kids who stole their gay or lesbian parents' guns and went on a shooting? How many people are living in poverty because they had gay children or because they were gay and had children? You have to have money to be gay and have a child.
And be fabulous, yes.
And be fabulous. Look at this. This doesn't just happen.
Look, I am a product of a fatherless household, all right? And I have stepbrothers, right? And when I asked my teacher what a nuclear family it was, she said just that, okay? Whoever lives in your home together, if it's aunts, if it's uncles, whatever it is, that's your nuclear family, right? Here we are 30 years later, and this gentleman wants to say that a nuclear family is like this. No, most families don't look alike. All right. And yet they still thrive. Okay. I mean, it's just ridiculous what they're doing over there.
Yeah. Well, on the fatherless households with poverty thing, that might have something to do with the fact of a gender pay gap. The women are just paid less. It might not have anything to do with fathers people. So let's be aware of that. But on the core of this, trying to make June family month, just fuck off, Bill Lee. This is absolute bullshit. I don't even want, how dare you? Be ashamed of yourself.
And on Pride Month, come on, that's not a mistake. Obviously, that's
of course, it's just an F
really loud.
An F you to him. Yeah.
Well, it's a perfect example of these individuals living in silos. They're only thinking for their own agenda. They're trying to wow constituents that they're going to get their vote from. They forgot what the Bible really says, is that God created all images completely equal. They forget about the fact that all of us were born exactly how we are, and he's in a silo. And, you know, even in the state of Tennessee, there's got to be people that can stand up and start representing all the people, representing all families. They all come from different walks of life. I mean, just look at the NFL. How many great athletes have come from the NFL with no fathers, a single mom, a grandmother that stayed home and cooked, no water, electric? The Hall of Fame is full of it. So what it really boils down to, LOVE. Those kids had love. They didn't have money. They didn't have food, but they made it to the NBA. They made it to the NFL. They made it to law school. They made it to doctor, nurse, this, that, school teachers. And get out of the silo. Let's find people that want to support our entire community. Let's start ushering those people in, and we'll have a much better world.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up lesbian and queer culture. Community rallies to save Denver's only lesbian bar with $80,000 Lifeline. The Pearl, a Sapphic-focused bar and cafe, said it would shut down after struggling to pay staff and performers fairly. The venue, which relocated about a year ago to the historic Mercury Cafe, shared the news on Instagram Saturday, saying, quote, "Hey, lesbians." Hi. "Unfortunately, April will be the last month of the Pearl Denver. We are closing our doors," end quote. Organizers of the fundraiser said the bar's financial challenges escalated after moving into a larger, older building as expenses rose and revenue fell short. The response from the community was swift. Within days, supporters had raised more than $80,000 through a GoFundMe campaign, offering a potential lifeline to keep the space open. Donations are listed to cover expenses such as rent, payroll, and urgent repairs. Fox affiliate KDVR reports that bar staff claimed their payroll checks bounced, which prompted them to ask the community to mark the GoFundMe as fraudulent. In a recent update, the organizers confirmed that the fundraising goal had been surpassed and donations were closed. But the GoFundMe page now reflects that donations will be refunded. Bar owners have been submitted documents to the state to dissolve Pearl Divers LLC. While the community has come together to save the Pearl, the questions remain about the long-term sustainability of such queer spaces. I don't know the Pearl. I don't know, but my lesbian senses are going beep, 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 beep. All right. Obviously, you're not spending those $80,000 on lube. So what is going on? I mean, like, even the staff is saying, wait a minute, there's something fraudulent about that GoFundMe. So as much as I am happy that our community comes together to help spaces like this, we have done stories from this table many times. There are only about 13 lesbian bars in the country at this point. 13! Okay, and that's not a lucky number in this aspect. All right, you know, there are spaces are closing down like wildfire. Right, so of course I love that the community came together to help them. But now on the tail end, it's a little shady right now. What's going on, you know? And your wait staff, there are no more transparent people than bartenders and servers. Okay, understand that. All right, like, you know, so if they're saying there's something up with this GoFundMe, look at it. We should be looking at it, you know? And so when I went to their Instagram page to go see if anything else had been put up, the whole page was gone.
Oh, well.
Gone. Gone.
That's the death knell right there when your social media is gone. I'm sorry, I need an ambulance and a neck brace because this story gave me whiplash. We did the hairpin U-turn. I was not expecting. This was like the cliffhanger better than Who Shot JR, if anybody's old enough to remember that reference. I love that the community, the Denver LGBTQ plus community, by the way, is fantastic. One of my friends is actually one of the anchors at KDVR.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, great guy. So their community is really strong. I hate to see this, and I don't want to cast aspersions because I know many restaurant owners as well as restaurant workers that are honest, above board, top shelf. But I will say, don't piss off your servers and bartenders, like you said, because if I ever am doing an investigative report, there's a good chance my sources started with either a hairdresser, a bartender, or a server.
100%. And Bobby, I'm really curious as to what you think about this. You are an entrepreneur. You have started many businesses. These folks moved to a bigger location, right? Hopefully in hopes that they would fill said location, right? Bad idea, obviously. I mean, like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that there were some mistakes made. It sounds like the owners haven't owned the mistakes. The story quickly evolved to, will the $80,000 be refunded to the community? As a business owner, if my staff had kind of turned against me, if they didn't want to wait a day or two to get the check after I was able to move the $80,000 into an account that was liquid, and they weren't willing to support that day or two, then I would realize that my day of having that business and with these people was probably over. And my first priority would be to put out a press release and a notice, even a press conference, that this $80,000 plus will be fully refunded. Nobody will lose a penny. Thank you, community of Denver. It was a good run. We probably shouldn't have moved to locations. We probably should have stayed in a place that had less potential for repairs, and maybe we should have done a little better job of who we hired, and we didn't think we had the loyalty that we had. Maybe we were not as aligned as we felt we were with our staff. Sorry, my bad. It all stops at the top, starts at the top, stops at the top. And that owner should be disappointed that this is how it ended. Make sure you give back the money, though.
And if that owner would have done that, what you just said, it would have been a different story that we would be giving right now.
Yeah, because $80,000 could turn into $200,000 with that kind of support.
If you knew you weren't able to make payroll, would you at least inform your employees before? Well, their checks bounced, which means they attempted to cash their check, which means they got a penalty from their bank. Like many people know that I'm a research director for a restaurant worker advocacy group, and unfortunately, this is a very common story of the bounced check. The restaurant owners are going to say this or that, and it never works out, unfortunately. So while you won't aspire restaurant owners, I occasionally will, because this is not an uncommon story. I will defend them on the move, though, because we don't know why they moved. It's very common that restaurants and bars are in situations where they don't own the land, and a developer wants to come in and push them out.
And they have to move somewhere else.
I think about, you did a story at some point about the Eagle wanting to adjust their lease, and the wanted to. That spooked me. It's the developer trying to move that out and force them to move. So that happens all the time. This is unfortunate. If the communities want to support restaurant workers in the future, support them, not the owners in these sorts of situations. The owners, they will figure out how to make a new business. They always do. The workers need help. Put money into a GoFundMe to help the workers.
Unfortunately, some things also from a business perspective just have to come to an end.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And for us, it's hard to take that end as a failure.
Sometimes, failure is really just it's information for how to maybe do it better and do it maybe a little differently. And if this owner would have handled this money differently, would have handled transparency with the staff better, say, listen, you're not going to get your check for Tuesday, but we just raised $80,000. We got the rent covered for another 5 months. I'm going to throw an extra $100 into your paycheck. Thank you for being a team player. Now you've got a shot at making it, because that $80,000, if you can get $80,000 in 3 days, you could get $250,000 in 3 months.
Of course.
And they could have survived and thrived, and
you would have had happy employees that would have had your back.
Who felt respected.
Who felt respected and seen, not taken, for a joke. And
I think that's also a big problem with business owners, is that they kind of like to play boss because they feel like they have to babysit, micromanage, and quite frankly, I've seen it even here. The owners and managers can be quite condescending, and don't ever underestimate the defeat that the staff feels. They show up for their job, they come with a smile, they're not happy.
No. LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up entertainment. Malcolm in the Middle Reboot has a non-binary character, Kelly. The reboot of Malcolm in the Middle, subtitled Life's Still Unfair, premiered on April 10th, introducing a new non-binary character to the family. While fans remember Malcolm, Francis, and Reese, Hal, and Lois now have a younger teenage child, Kelly, played by non-binary actor Vaughn Murray. Talking about this new character, creator Linwood Boomer said, quote, "It's in there because I don't know what else to write except the stuff that's really happening around me," end quote. Fans have seen Murray before in a popular Apple TV series, Ghostwriter. You can stream all episodes of the show on Disney+. Malcolm in the Middle is one of those shows that I grew up with. I loved it, and so many fun episodes. They're just a raunchy white family, and the things that have happened to them, right? So this new Reboot is getting a lot of attention, and now it's got my attention by having a non-binary character. I was like, I am not watching a reboot. I refuse. I am watching this reboot.
Demand more, Faye. Like a token random not queer person thrown into a yet another reboot or a sequel or whatever 20 years after. Like, the New Yorker was right that there wasn't really much more for Malcolm in the Middle, and they showed that in only 4 episodes.
That's what the New Yorker said? Okay, I haven't seen even one episode. I'll let you know. All right.
You know, we sat at this table a couple weeks ago and we talked about how it was hard. We hate seeing people like straight actors or cis actors cast in roles that are gay or whatever. And I point out that especially with child actors, it's hard to find someone who is trans, young, and can act. I'm glad to see that the producers put time into this role and into the casting. So, yay.
Yay.
Yeah, more stories that can represent our people, our interests, and bring more awareness to the lives we live, the better.
Amen.
LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's square up worldview. Birmingham, UK, that's in England, Pride Director plans fully free festival for landmark 30th anniversary in 2027. Barton, who has led the event since 2009, said he intends to step down after achieving this goal. Ticket prices for 2026 have already been reduced in response to the ongoing cost of living crisis. Though the parade remains free, with a paid 2-day festival following. But Barton says it's possible to make it free, and he will resign once he does it. The 2026 event takes place May 23rd and 24th. Performers on this Saturday include Katie B, Sigala, and Drag Race UK winner Danny Beard. On Sunday, Girls Aloud, icon Nadine Coyle headlines, while Bjorn Again, Boney M, and Emil of Sugar Babes fame will perform. I just think anytime a Pride organizer is trying to make it affordable and cost-free to every single person to attend is a great goal. We know here in Florida and Stonewall, the cost of the police, the protection, the security, it costs so much money, and we're suffering because DEI is not at the top of corporate America's friendly list right now. So, boy, I look up to somebody that's trying to make it free. I just don't know how he's going to do that if they really, really, really do what they need to do to get the best entertainers and to make sure the security is in place. But let's hope he can do it.
Did you see that lineup? Better than Coachella. I had no idea who the hell anybody on that lineup was. I swear. I thought I had seen Big Ange, and then I was like, wait a minute, is she dead? So I didn't know anybody on that lineup. Look, like, to piggyback off what Bobby said, if you can do a free event, go for it. We just had Miami Beach Pride. It was free to everyone, and it was a blast. Okay? And it was a blast. But I'm very well aware of what it took to make that event free. Right? I will take our event at Stonewall and you pay a couple bucks any day because I know what it covers, right? I need to feel safe. Last year, somebody tried to come in with, can I say it, right? With a weapon last year, and that was halted right at the door, right? So for that reason, I will stay with paying for Pride, but I appreciate when others try to make it free and accessible to everyone.
No, it's great that he's trying to make it free. I just wonder how far Pride has fallen to the point where we're charging at all these different events. I've always been a critic of Stonewall Pride charging. I think that's insane for a parade, at least. And then even for these festivals, I'm like, if you can't do it free, then find a way to, like, really downsize. Like, if the first Pride was able to do it on Christopher Street in New York City without any police, without any protection, when people were ready to do horrible things to queer people in 1970, then we can find a way to do it now.
I know, but that's a couple hundred people, and Stonewall's 40,000. So there's a huge difference, you know what I mean, in trying to keep those people safe, you know?
We had 40,000 people at the Pride protest in 2017 in D.C. without any police.
Wow.
Oh, there was police and security.
Well, we didn't pay
Yeah,
for
but
it,
think
I
of
should
this.
say.
My thought would be, Publix, Holy Cross Hospital, Whole Foods, Geico Ford, the Huizenga Foundation. There are companies that could afford to pay the $2, the $5 and give 10,000 people a free ticket. Sponsorship. I just think that we need a team of people that work year round. There needs to be a staff that does nothing but sell, retired people that have moved here, that ran businesses, that know how to sell, know how to activate, sponsorship programs, know how to bring value to the event, know how to sell the value. Go out and sponsor, the event. And part of your sponsorship is you're going to give 10,000 tickets away to people that say they can't afford it. I tell you what, if you can afford it, you're probably not going to say you can't. And if you do, shame on you. But at least that would allow everyone to come in that can come in, that wants to come in.
And we're overlooking the biggest part here. Boney M is still alive and for me. Come on. Rah, Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen.
That was the guy jumping around that stage with silver pants on like MC Hammer?
Yes!
Wow.
A good 10 years before Hammer time came.
Wow.
Stop. Hayden time.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Charles Melton heats up men's health ahead of Beef Season 2 premiere. The actor gave fans plenty of steamy content in his recent shirtless thread for ID magazine. Now this former football player at Kansas State University is showing off his physique again in a new photo shoot for Men's Health. Melton is also open up about his intense workout routine for his breakout role in Netflix's Beef as anticipation builds for Season 2. Dropping this Friday, the latest visuals are drawing a lot of attention online, with fans highlighting both his physical transformation and growing presence in Hollywood. And, the producers know I love a good shirtless man, so we'll always put them up if you can, Steve. There's great shirtless photos of that man. What do people think?
I think I just turned vegan. Yeah.
No
interest.
He's got a growing presence in my pants.
There's a show for everybody. That's all I can say.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up the worldview. Sri Lanka withdraws LGBTQ tourism support amid religious backlash and legal pressure. This reverses a partnership between the Sri Lankan Tourism Development Authority and advocacy group Equal Ground, which launched last year. The initiative aimed to position the country as an inclusive travel destination and expand its tourism market. However, opposition from influential Christian and Buddhist leaders prompted scrutiny, leading authorities to formally rescind the backing. Same-sex relations remain criminalized in Sri Lanka under colonial-era laws. Trans individuals can legally change their gender marker, though that policy is now facing legal opposition. Despite this setback, advocacy efforts continue with support from segments of the tourism industry that see economic potential in LGBTQ travelers. You don't want my travel dollars? That's fine. This country, Sri Lanka, sits right off the southern tip of India. I will much rather take my money and my sky miles and spend them and fly there.
Okay, so we're not going to Sri Lanka.
We are not
got it. No
going
problem.
to Sri Lanka.
I'm proud you could see it on a map, but also I just have to say, the idea of a homophobic Buddhist is like a pro-war Quaker. This does not make any sense to me, for the love of God. Like, talk to the Dalai Lama or something, I don't know.
Yeah, spend your money where people want to support, who we are, and forget about the rest.
Well, that is an LGBTQ plus 1 minute story.
LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's queer up lesbian and queer culture. Amazon MGM Studios developing Sapphic soccer series Playing the Field with Megan Rapinoe. This new TV series is based on Merrill Wilsner's best-selling Sapphic soccer romance, Cleat Cute. The ensemble comedy follows 4 players on a professional women's soccer team, Crescent City in New Orleans. At its center is the evolving relationship between teammates Grace Henderson and Phoebe Matthews. Sarah Tapscott is attached as writer, showrunner, and executive producer, along with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe, among others. The original novel follows a veteran star sidelined by injury and a rising player who takes her place, sparking both rivalry and romance ahead of the World Cup. No release date has been announced, but we'll definitely be looking out for it. So this is going to be the heated rivalry for the lesbians. I'm here for it. Make sure they take their clothes off by episode 2.
It's so true. It's heated rivalry. It's going to be a great show. It's great to see the soccer star get involved in things that are going to be extremely meaningful other than the sports, which gave her a great name and a great reputation, and she's done a lot of great work. But this, again, the more young girls and people in general that can learn that there are different people in this world, everybody should be treated equal, everybody has a shot in life, and I think this show will show that.
And I'm just glad someone other than Greg Shapiro is doing our lesbian content today.
Oh, you're cute. What was the name of it? Cleat Cute?
Cleat Cute.
Cleat Cute. If you say that real quick, it's another word that lesbians really love. Just say it to yourself, all right? As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We'd also like to thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah. just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ plus family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends, family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support if our community is to grow and then thrive. We must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world telling these types of LGBTQ plus stories. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television News Network, and of course, Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including Bobby Blair, Alex Morash, and John Hayden. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a good night.
Good night.